Hi everyone, this is Sandra's Vegan Cafe, and today I'm going to be teaching you how to make soya chunks or soy curls. That's what some people call them, but back home in Zambia, we call them soya chunks. But I've heard people call them soy curls here in the United States, and as well as hydrolyzed soy protein. So this is hydrolyzed soy protein if you're in the US. Oh, I don't know however they call them, where you come from. But yeah, that's what I'm gonna be making today, and this is gonna be a simple, easy, fun recipe. Easy fun recipe because I like to make my food less stressful, pretty much. I mean, it will still taste good, but without all the extra ingredients. Because come on now, I mean, the food, if you have like about 15 ingredients, like, I mean, what's the food really gonna taste like? It's gonna taste probably like a couple of ingredients and not all 15. And I believe in making food taste better with less ingredients, less time cooking, less time on the stove, and but still nutritious, because cooking doesn't need to be that stressful. And moreover, who has time to shop all those ingredients just for one meal? Like, I gotta go to the store and like 20 ingredients for one meal. Like, no, we're not. I'm not doing that. And so are you. Honestly, I'm just saving you time because there's honestly no point of all that. Food still tastes good even with a few ingredients, without a lot of ingredients. But anyway, so these soy curls, I have a story with them. So I remember these are our main ingredients. So this soya curls, soy chunks, I just actually bought them from a Mexican store. But you can find them in different stores. In American stores, they're hydrolyzed protein. Yes, hydrolyzed soy protein. But if you go to your local Hispanic store, if you're here in the United States, you will find these. Just ask one of the ladies in the supermarket. Because, yeah, I don't know if some people might know them as soya chunks, soy curls, hydrolyzed soy protein, because they all have different names. So if you take a picture, take a screenshot of these and then show them this. So, this has a story for me. A long time ago, when I was younger, long time ago, when I was much younger. Actually, I like saying that because it makes me feel like, oh, I'm older now. But I love my younger days too. So long time ago when I was much younger, my uncle always used to eat this. Like every time he came to our house, my grandma would cook him soya chunks. And my Uncle Stanley, you cook him soya chunks. And by then I wasn't vegan, so he was a vegetarian, though my uncle was a vegetarian at that time. And my grandma would always cook him these soya chunks every time he came. And then we're like, oh, Uncle Stanley is coming, and then she'll make some soya chunks because he likes soya chunks and he didn't eat meat or chicken, and would always make them. And my grandma would always make them, for him or anyone who was at home. If you were cooking meat, you had to make these soya chunks just for him. So yeah, that's the story behind that. And I loved them, but I didn't love them as much as I do now. Now I actually really do love them. They're a good source of protein. They're very good with protein. So yeah, there you go. And I'm just going to introduce to you the couple of ingredients that I have here today. I have some onions that I'm going to use. You can use white onions, whatever onions that you have. I used red because that's what I had in here, but white go very well as well. And I have some tomatoes. I made them into bigger chunks because that's just how I like it. This is good over rice. But if you're eating them with shima, if you're in Zambia, I would make the tomatoes much smaller, or you can just use a grater to grate your tomatoes to make them really tiny. Yeah, you can grate your tomatoes to make them really tiny. And then I have some green peppers. You can use these green peppers, make them tiny if you want to. I just like putting those. And then I have these fennel seeds. If you don't have fennel seeds, you can use basil or any other spice that you like, some other green spice. And then I have some salt here to taste. There's some salt right there. And I have some butter. I'm gonna use this butter because I ran out of my oil actually, so I actually have to buy some more. I have to buy some more oil. Yeah, I ran out of it, but I usually use this extra virgin olive oil, but I ran out, so I'm just gonna use this butter because I usually use this butter for baking, but I'm gonna use it to make this. Okay, yeah, we just we do what we gotta do and use whatever we have. So I'm gonna use this butter, and then I'm gonna use this too. This is a red curry paste. This is really good. It basically has red peppers, like green peppers, red peppers. There's also orange peppers. So this mainly, so if you have red pepper, oh my gosh, use the red peppers. Just make them small. If you can blend them. If you can grate them. I just make them really, really small. They're really tasty with these red peppers. I am telling you, I'm not even kidding. And then I'm also gonna use this garlic powder. If you have garlic powder, use some garlic powder. If you have the actual garlic, use the actual garlic, but make sure some kind of garlic taste goes in this recipe to make it extra and extra. Mwah. And actually I have this cup right here I'm gonna use for some water, so we'll just use this water to this cup to make some water. All right, so we'll go on ahead. I'm just gonna cut this butter. I'm gonna open it up. I have my stove going here, and this is a really good butter. I must tell you, this Violife butter is good, and it stays much longer. It's a really pricey than the regular butter, but this is also a plant-based butter, so everything is plant-based right now. So I'm gonna just use that to cut the butter. And that's the thing with butter. If I used oil, I think I would have used less, but let's see, we'll just keep putting bits and pieces so that we don't end up having a lot of butter. So I'm gonna use this, and I'm just gonna put it in a pot. I already have some butter on here, and I'm just gonna melt it. I have to be careful with my glove. So I'm just gonna melt the butter because the soya chunks are gonna have, a lot of, I'm gonna soak in the oil. Just gonna melt some butter. So I'm gonna melt some butter. I have some butter in here. And right now I have this about 5 on my stove, because when you're making this soya chunks, you want your heat as low as possible because they will burn. So I'm just gonna take out this other piece of butter because right now I feel like, even though we are almost late, I feel like the butter is a lot, so I'll just add more if I need more. We'll see how the soya pieces do. All right, yeah. So I'm just gonna put in the soya pieces right now, and I'm just gonna use a cup to pour them on there. Okay. So that's all for my soya pieces right now. And you notice that I didn't wash them. So not washing them is the key. I learned this actually from a friend, from someone that she had made these as well. And she hadn't used any any water. So the key to these is not adding any water at all if you want them tasty, because I remember back then we always wash them and we always soak them. All right, but you don't do that before cooking them, because you know we thought that if you could soak them and kind of make them and hydrate them, then you know that's how you made them. But that actually took the taste away, because after you soak them in water before you cook them, they're going to be full of water and they're going to be so soaked in water, and you don't want to do that, because that means that you will not taste them as they should be. So this keeps the flavor in here. And notice I have my stove on low. You actually want to keep your stove on low for these, because they will burn quickly. So I'll just add a little bit of more butter so they can, like I said, you add as you go, because the butter looked a lot, but because of the amount of soya pieces that I have in here, I'm just gonna start adding some salt to taste. They're looking good, looking crunchy, looking good. I just put a little more piece of butter here so that they don't. Trust me, it looks a lot. I'm just gonna add some salt. Alright, I'm just gonna add some salt right now. This is more convenient because the batter doesn't have any salt. This is also unsalted batter, so that's something to consider. Because we're still adding tomatoes, so I put about 3 teaspoons of salt right now. Alright, I think they're getting ready to go for us to add our other ingredients. So you just want them to be a little bit brown, because they burn really quick. So as much as possible, you can keep them off the heat. Keep them off the heat. Alrighty, I just added my onions. Right now my stove is on 1. That's how careful you want to be with these. So we cannot add, you know, all the ingredients one by one, because they're actually gonna burn. Oh my gosh, this looks so good so far. Then I'll put a little bit of these in there. Put the green peppers. Alright. And then I'll put the tomatoes. Alright, and then I'm going to put some water at this time. Put some water, let them soak. Just gonna push this down. And then I'm just gonna let this boil in here. And then I'm going to increase my heat. Trust the process. I put our onions in there, and I put our green peppers, and I put our tomatoes, and I put some salt, and now I'm just going to add some garlic powder. And I'm gonna let them simmer. And as well, adding one of our pests. This was the red pepper, so you can add the red pepper. And trust me, this is one of our main ingredients. And you want to have some red pepper because the flavor of this dish is gonna come from these red peppers. Now guys, that's how you soak them. You're soaking them right now, and they're gonna cook this red pepper. And then I'm gonna add some of the fennel seeds. Oh gosh, the fennel seeds make it really, really, really delicious. And I add that in there. Just a generous amount. It's gonna be, these are delicious. These fennel seeds. I like the fennel seeds. These are, if you don't like them, you don't have to add. You don't have to add them. And now that's how you're also soaking these. That's how you're also soaking these. So we're gonna let them simmer for a little bit. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that soaking. Look at that boiling in there. Look at that simmer. Just look at that. That looks amazing right now. This is what we want to see. I love this taste. This is what we want to see. That's what we want to see. Now look at this. The flavor, the everything, everything. Magnificent. Now this is what we want to see. Look at the colors, the flavor. This is magnificent. I can smell that. I can smell that red pepper. So we want this as, you know, it's a very good dish, a very healthy dish, and full of, you know, that protein we're talking about. Protein. If you want some muscles, this is what you eat. Not only chicken, you know, people always say I gotta eat meat for some protein. Oh my gosh, there's so many sources. There's so many sources of protein, but look at that color. That is beautiful. That is what we want to see in this dish. That's what we want to see in that dish. Every time I make my meals, you know, people back home, you know, they're like, you know, why your food looks so good? Why does your food look so good? Trust me, I'm eating what you're eating. I'm eating what's available to you as well. So now I have these recipes for you so you can see exactly how I do it and how to make it taste mwah. So you can be plant-based and have delicious food. We'll let this cook for about, let's say, 10 minutes or so. Let this cook for about 10 minutes or so. Delicious. Delicious. Look at that. Ooh. Tell me about these soya chunks, man. Are these soya chunks right now? Are these soya chunks? I'm telling you, someone tell me. Someone tell me hallelujah in the comment section. Are these soya chunks? Are these the same soya chunks we ate when we were younger? Oh my gosh, look at that. Delicious, beautiful, healthy, wonderful. So guys, I am done cooking right now. So they simmered about 15 minutes and then I just let them cool off a little bit. So now I am going to plate them. So I just turned off the stove and now I am going to plate them. So now I am going to plate these delicious soy curls.